Hello everyone, welcome to Nerd Mela. I am Brahmavadini and I have with me Shekhar.
Hello.
Shekhar is joining us over the phone because we are practicing social distancing, so the audio might be a little iffy here and there, but the discussion is good.
Yes, it will definitely be good.
So today we will be talking about the anti-defection laws in India, and as we've seen that in recent times there have been increasing incidents of defection, and especially even more so in the last 3 years. And after the recent political turmoil in Madhya Pradesh, a tweet had also gone viral, which stated that how we should have auctions of MLAs rather than elections. And this tweet sort of sums up what has been happening in the Indian politics for quite some time. And the most recent case, of course, is of Madhya Pradesh, in which the Kamal Nath government fell just after 15 months.
This is after Jyotiraditya Scindia resigned and took with him 22 of his loyal MLAs. And this is something very similar to what happened in the Congress-JDS coalition government in Karnataka as well, which also lasted just over a year after some, so-called unhappy MLAs resigned.
Then also there is the case of Goa in 2017, in which 10 Congress MLAs had joined BJP. The 10 Congress MLAs led by the party's LOP, leader of opposition, joined BJP, and this led to an increase in the BJP's strength in the Goa assembly. And it is important to understand here that BJP had already formed the government earlier with outside support.
And before that, something similar had happened in Arunachal Pradesh too, where the Congress government fell within just 2 months of coming to power. In Arunachal, 44 of Congress's MLAs, including the Chief Minister, quit the Congress and joined the People's Party of Arunachal, which is a regional party which has friendly ties with the NDA government. Then in December that year, 33 MLAs of People's Party of Arunachal joined the BJP.
Yes, and in all these cases, BJP was clearly an advantage. But let's get back to what is happening in MP right now. Other than forming a government in another state, this attempt to destabilize the Kamal Nath government is also because of the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections. Of course, here we have to understand that Congress has its own infighting going on, and they are at a very weak state at this point of time. So of course the entire blame cannot be given to BJP also, but yeah, like it was an attempt by the BJP to destabilize the government because of the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections. And with another government in power in another state, BJP can now dictate who goes to Rajya Sabha from Madhya Pradesh, and in turn increase their numbers in the upper house, giving them more control, more legislative control.
Yeah, and to get a better understanding of what is happening right now, I think we need to look at the anti-defection laws in India and how they came into being.
Yeah.
Defection means when an elected representative leaves the party on whose symbol he or she was elected and joins another party. Or it could also mean when he or she disobeys the directives of the party leadership on a vote. And what this implies is that a legislator defined, that is abstaining or voting against the party whip on any issue, can lose membership of the House.
Yeah, and after the 1967 general election, defections played a major role in making and unmaking of the governments in the state. And like after 1967, what we're talking about, the breakaway Congress legislators also played an important role in installing non-Congress governments in around 3 states: Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh.
Yes. And this constant shifting of political loyalties gave rise to the expression of Ram Gaya Ram.
Yeah, so this expression came into being after multiple floor crossing by this MLA from Haryana in 1967, Gaya Lal. He
Yes.
changed his party thrice in a fortnight.
Yeah, first from Congress to United Front and then back to Congress. And then suddenly within 9 hours he switched back to the United Front again. And it is said that when Gayalal declared his intention to quit the United Front again and join the Congress, the then Congress leader Rao Birendra Singh brought him to Chandigarh in front of the press and declared that Gaya Ram was now Ayaram.
And
Yeah.
and of course after this, a need was felt for anti-defection laws. So in 1985, the 52nd Amendment provided for the disqualification of the members of the parliament and the state legislatures on the grounds of defection from one political party to another, which we saw was the definition of defection. And there was a new schedule was added in the constitution.
Yeah, which is often referred to as the anti-defection law.
Yeah, but then later also in 2003, 91st Amendment Act was made, which made one change in the provision of the 10th schedule.
Yeah,
And this is getting very technical, but the 91st Amendment Act basically omitted an exception provision, which is disqualification on ground of defection not to apply in case of a split, which means that if a member goes out of his party as a result of a merger of that party with another, then then it won't be counted as defection. And a merger will take place only when two-thirds of the members of the party have agreed to such merger.
yeah. And there is another exception to disqualification. The second is that if a member, after being elected as the presiding officer of the House, voluntarily gives up the membership of his party or rejoins it after he ceases to hold that office.
So, presiding officer basically is the speaker.
Yeah,
But these amendments have not been foolproof and have been criticized. So now what we have to do is look at the problems of the anti-defection law currently in place in India.
first would be the discrimination between independent member and nominated member. It is sort of believed to be very illogical. And that is said so because if an independent member joins a party, he or she is disqualified, but the nominated member is allowed to do the same within the first 6 months. And what this does is that it can be used to increase the membership of a party by offering a nomination in Rajya Sabha and then encouraging the parliamentarian to join the party.
Then, like you said, that this discrimination is illogical, the differentiation between individual defection and group defection is also quite illogical, because this actually legitimizes wholesale defection, like one party
Yeah.
trying to take a big chunk of MLAs from the other party.
Yeah, and another thing that it does is that these anti-defection laws are not able to differentiate between dissent and defection. So, in a way, it curbs the legislator's right to dissent.
And also, another point that has been raised by a lot of political experts is that the decision making power lies in the hand of the presiding officer, which is actually the speaker. And
Yes.
the speaker is not unbiased in India, unlike in United Kingdom where the speaker is
Yes.
unbiased. It is also understood that the speaker does not have the legal knowledge or experience to adjudicate upon the cases of defection, and there have been issues regarding this as well. Like earlier, the presiding officer's decision was said to be final, but Supreme Court in the Kihoto Ho Lohan case said that any decision of a speaker is subject to judicial review. And
Yeah.
in a more recent example, we can take the Karnataka case in which the Supreme Court said that the speaker must decide on the resignation of the MLAs.
Yeah, and the speaker was neither accepting their resignations or rejecting them.
In the same case, Supreme Court had also overturned the decision of the speakers, which barred the disqualified MLAs from contesting elections till 2023, but upheld their disqualification. So
Yes.
there are some issues with the overall biasness or unbiasedness of the speaker. So once we have seen what the issues are with the anti-defection law in India, we should now take a look at what is happening in the current political scenario due to these problems. The first problem would be that this defection is breeding corruption. There is the infamous resort model in which MLAs are flown to different cities and then kept at a resort while negotiations are taking place.
Yeah, and they are influenced by the use of alleged bribery or benefits to defect. And what it does is that it incentivizes bad behavior of MLAs and leaders. And when we look at things right now, only BJP has that kind of political funding. As per several reports, BJP was the biggest beneficiary of the electoral bond scheme, bagging 94.5% of the total bonds. And apart from the financial aspect of things, offering of ministerial berths also breeds another sort of corruption.
The other problem due to this would be the weakening of institutions because defections lead to political instability. We can see what is happening in Madhya Pradesh. When we are talking about weakening institutions, we have another video that we did on the same. So, in case you want to check it, you can do it by clicking on the link on your screen right now. But let's get back to the problems. The third thing would be that it creates moral turpitude in the society and sort of normalizes the defection politics.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is sort of weakening the relationship of people with their legislators. And instead of strengthening the choice of people, party politics is given priority. And when we take the case of Madhya Pradesh, the election issues of Vyapam scam and the anti-incumbency, they hold no ground today due to this internal defection.
So, the next question that comes up in this scenario is what should be done? The first thing, the first would be to make political funding more transparent, and this has been talked about at length by many people, especially after the electoral bond scheme was launched by the NDA government.
Yeah, and several RTIs have exposed how the scheme is very opaque.
Yeah.
And the second thing that should be done is that citizens like you and me should be more proactive. They should question why the leaders they elected are behaving in such a manner. And people should also realize that orchestrating defections is not something to brag about. It would seem that the aim is only to get brute majority by any means. Basically just legitimizing the whole Hindi proverb of jiski lati uski bhais.
Yeah, and legislature needs to be seen in a better light by all. Like,
Yes,
we have to understand that the job of the MLA is not to pass laws, it is
yes,
also to have detailed and deliberate discussions on bills to understand what the issue is exactly and come up with logical, inclusive solutions, which is
yeah,
otherwise or actually nowadays seen as stalling of the legislative process. Like, there is this general trend of boasting about how quickly a law was passed. It's
yes. That doesn't reflect the productivity of the house.
and it is often said that in a democracy, people deserve the politicians they get. Thus, to get upright, issue based politicians, it is important that citizens apply these criteria while voting during elections and by polls. And, uh, and this is what India needs right now, better politicians and more inclusive and deliberative discussions on people's problems.
Yes.
With this, we bring an end to our conversation. Hope everybody is keeping safe in this time of pandemic. If you have any suggestions or feedback about this episode, please leave it in the comments below. Also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.
Bye.